To work with Taker. What are your memories of some of the matches you had with Undertaker?
There was a guy that, after I had that match with Batista where I got busted open, Taker pulled me aside at one of the house shows and said, like, keep it up. He would, say, hey, work on this, work on that, maybe start doing this. And then he said, I'd like to work with you someday. I think we can make some money together. And then about a week later, he came up and said, did you hear? And I said, no. And he says, we're going to do a program together. We're going to get, I'm not sure yet, but they're thinking at least 2, maybe 3 pay-per-views out of it. And I was just, obviously very excited about that.
Let me ask you, I don't want to ruin your story.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you say to yourself, wow, here I am, I came up on the indies and now I'm working with Undertaker on the WWE pay-per-views. I mean, did you ever sit back and be like, wow, how did this happen?
Yeah, the first night that we worked together on a house show, I don't remember where we were. I have a terrible memory when it comes to dates like that. Matt Hardy can tell you like where he was last week, where he was 10 years ago. He's just got like this photographic memory when it comes to dates and times and who he wrestled and who. I can't remember that stuff. I just remember being in the ring and hearing that gong for the first time, and like just I got goosebumps, and I was like, I cannot believe that I'm standing here. Like, how did I remember saying to myself, like, how the fuck did you get here?
It's crazy.
And you see the long walk down the ramp, and then we hadn't talked about anything. He just said, you know what? Let's just go out there and call everything, and I just want to get a feel for you and see how things go. We came back, and he's like, we can work together, like, and tomorrow we'll go out there and we'll put a little more into it. And we did. We went out there the next night. We called a couple spots beforehand, and then we just started like adding stuff, taking stuff away, and I worked with him night after night after night after night after night. It was always just awesome. And it never got old. It never got like, oh man, I got to work Taker again. It was like, bring it on. And he was very, very instrumental in helping me out and molding me too. I remember him saying, I really like your style, like. And for me, and I've received criticism about this, about being jerky in the ring and like not being fluid. To me, I hate fluid. I hate it. Like when you see somebody really fight, they don't always take a flat back bump. Sometimes they go to their ass. Sometimes you get hit on the jaw and you just drop to your ass. Sometimes you fucking fall into the ropes. Sometimes and I did stuff like that with Taker, and he would go to grab me, and I wouldn't give it to him. Like I would start scrambling or pulling on the ropes or holding onto the ropes or whatever, and then he'd kick me, and then I let go and let him take over. Whereas some guys, and he told me this, he said, keep doing that because it sets you apart. It's different. Even like when he would do the leg drop on the apron, guys just lay there, and he sets him up, and then he goes up, takes his long walk, gets up on the ring apron, and then he walks down and does a leg drop.
Right.
Guys just lay there the whole time, and I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna, and I move around like I was trying to crawl up, whatever, and put a little space between me and the mat, so that when he actually did the leg drop, there was a fucking bump.
Right.
And stuff like that. He'd say like, keep doing that stuff, keep doing it. He goes, but I'm gonna tell you right now, somewhere along the line, that's gonna screw some guys up. So just be careful, and it did. It did end up screwing up, and the wrong guys. So.
Who did it screw up? I don't know if you want to talk.
Well, I know, like, Cena hated it, Shawn Michaels hated it, and therefore Triple H hated it, which are 3 guys not to, you don't want them to not like what you do.
I'm going to talk about these guys coming up.
But I always say that there was a situation one time where somebody got some heat in the locker room. I'm not gonna go into it's irrelevant who it is or whatever, but somebody got some heat in the locker room, and a bunch of guys were talking about it, and I joined in, I chimed in, and Regal pulled me aside and he said, don't get involved in that fucking shit. He's like, you're better than that. He's like, look at Taker, look at Steve, look at those guys that you look up to. They don't get involved in all that petty bullshit backstage. They're nice to just be nice to people. Don't talk shit about people. And you know what? And I'm not that type of person. I don't like talking shit about people, and I don't like, getting involved in that petty shit. And he was right. And I always say that there are two mountains in the WWE. One mountain, you got the Undertaker on top of, and the other mountain, you got other guys. And this mountain, the Undertaker is up there saying, throwing ropes down. Come on, guys. The weather's good up here. We can make some money together. If everybody's on the same page, if we all work together and we're all good, then that means that the whole card is good. Which means, like I remember watching back in the Attitude Era, like it was from, that first ding, ding, ding till the last ding, ding, ding. Oh my God, we'll see you next week. Everybody was good. And so Undertaker's on one side throwing ropes down, saying, come on, I gotta help you guys out. And he really takes guys under their wings. I was one of them. I was fortunate enough. MVP's another guy. And then on the other side, you got guys throwing boulders down. Like, get the fuck off my mountain. I'm up here. I want to be up here. I'm up here.
It's a good analogy.
I would rather be remembered as being on Taker's mountain. And I just, and it always goes back to that thing that Jim Cornette said to me the very first day that I was at OVW. If you know of somebody that can help the business out, do everything that you can to try to help them out, try to get them better. And if somebody's fucking up, rather than, if somebody's fucking up, but they have potential and they have talent, work with them. Try to get them to fucking stop doing whatever it is that is bothering you or bothering everybody else. Don't try to hold them down. Don't force them down. Don't bury them. So that's all I got to say about that.
What was your relationship like with Steve Austin around this period of time? And you got close. How did you become friendly with him?
Actually, I had a match with Batista on TV. It was just SmackDown taping. I had a match with him, and I was on the plane up to. I was going up to Canada, somewhere in Canada. We had a layover in Portland or Seattle. We were in Seattle, and I checked my voicemails, and it was Ken, Steve Austin. Got your number from someone in the office, and I saw your old match with Batista the other day. I liked the shit out of it, and I wanted to talk to you about it. I saw some things, a couple things I wanted to talk to you about, and give me a call back. Gave me his number, and I called him back, and we talked for quite a while, and he gave me some pointers and saw some things that he had seen during the match that could have been turned up a notch, and some things that he liked, and then he's just like, give me a call whenever you can, and if you ever got any questions or anything like that. And then I think I called him the next week after my match, and said, what do you think? And we chatted again, and then he'd call me, I'd call him. When he thought of things, he would always, his mind's always working, and that's one of the things about Steve is he's removed from the business, and he's given so much to the business that he could just be sitting at home doing nothing. He doesn't have to watch, and he certainly didn't have to call me and extend the olive branch, but he did because he saw something there, and he wanted to try to make it better, and he would always come up with different ideas and stuff, and would pitch them to me, and then I go back and pitch them, and they get shot down, and so.
Do you think his relationship helped or hurt you?
I think it hurt me, actually. I don't know why, but somebody there does not like that, and always looked at it like, I remember shortly thereafter, I started, people would say like, and just people backstage would say, well, even Steve would, like, I wasn't trying to, like, they would try to insinuate that I was trying to be Steve Austin. It's like, I'm not trying to be Steve Austin. I get advice from him, and, I'm a fan of his, and he's a fan of mine right now, and that's it. Like, we're friends.
Right.
I don't want to marry the guy. And, but it was like, and sometimes Vince would make comments too, like, Steve's not the end-all, be-all, like, stuff like that, and I was just like, I'm not saying that he is, but he was for a long time here, and he turned a lot of people onto this business.
Right.
And I don't see anything wrong with getting advice from somebody that you respect